So this market cycle is actually going to be a little bit different when it comes to Cardano and ADA. And I'm not necessarily talking about price performance, but there is a bit of a wild card that people aren't necessarily paying attention to, especially right now. And that's okay, because that's more opportunity for the rest of us. But what they don't realize is that while we're waiting on this wild card, while some people are waiting for this to actually take place, it is in fact already happening. And I want to discuss what that is with you guys. I'm Luckside. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So when we talk about ADA in general, ADA has been steady Eddie from cycle to cycle to cycle. In fact, when we zoom out and look what it's done from cycle to cycle to cycle, it's very consistent, right? We go up, we come down, we test the bottom of our rainbow regression curve, we go up, test the top, come down, test the bottom. So naturally, we're going to try to go up and test the top. Some people have said we're only going to get linear growth, talking in the, maybe $5, $4 ADA range. And people can think what they want. That's okay. As you guys know, I have a much more bullish projection when it comes to ADA. And I'll get to why that is in just a moment. My projections have been consistently between $7 to $15 in this market cycle. And frankly, if blow off tops start to happen, if something else in terms of Cardano begins to happen, we may be talking somewhere in the 20s, right? $25. Now, again, there's no guarantees. Nobody knows what's going to happen in terms of crypto. And this market cycle, I think, tops out sometime around October of 2025. We'll see if we get into a super cycle. But the big wild card that people seem to be sleeping on in terms of Cardano, despite some of this already taking place, is actual Cardano adoption, actual Cardano use. People tend to sleep on all these big adoption pieces that are actually taking place. Signing a partnership with Argentina, World Mobile building out a partner chain with Cardano, discussions about utilization by NASA. That's, I would say, a pretty big deal. Did I mention the United Nations? I think I might have. Dubai utilizing Cardano infrastructure. I mean, the thing is these are just the T's, right? This is just, we'll call it the pilot program for Cardano, and it is much smaller than what is actually coming in this cycle. Some people will say, oh yeah, it's not going to happen. If you guys haven't noticed, Cardano has been picking up steam by a lot. Oh yeah, that's right. Going to be used as a smart contract layer for Bitcoin. There are so many big things taking place for Cardano behind the scenes that people frankly are sleeping on right now that has not been reflected in price at all. There is going to be a moment where it is in fact reflected in price. That is the moment that the wild card has in fact been played. And this is why my projections are in fact so bullish, because from this point right now, I don't think it's that long before Cardano does in fact start to surprise a lot of people with its use, with its utilization. Okay. Not to forget the fact that Chang Hard Fork Part 2 is right around the corner. I think I mentioned that earlier today, but we're kind of in a different era when it comes to Cardano. We've gone from this point of research papers and peer-reviewed process and slow and all these things, and we've started to climb into the accelerated time of Cardano adoption. The crazy thing about this is this has all been done organically. This has been done without advertisements, without VCs, and yet I would say right now, Cardano is probably the best positioned to gain significant adoption in this market. Perfect security, perfect uptime, scalable chain, tons of scalability options in terms of Hydra, in terms of partner chains, and it's already being tapped in a big way by some of the largest entities in the world. That is not something that's going to slow down. There's nothing pointing to that. That's why I think it's funny when people are talking about, oh yeah, this early market performance dictates late market performance. That's not the case at all. People forget that Cardano drastically outperformed the early part of last market, or what it did in the early part of last market in the later part by a long shot. And now we're getting into some of the times of biggest adoption in terms of crypto, in terms of mass adoption, in terms of the overall market. And ADA, believe it or not, is still a blue chip asset. It's one that gets big optics. It's one that people are in fact paying attention to. And because of that, because it hasn't performed that great early on, that leaves a lot of room for growth. That's why I always tell people, don't chase yesterday's gains. You have to look at what has been done to move forward. Cardano has done some of the biggest things during the bear market into the early part of the bull to actually take steps forward. And it just hasn't reflected in price. That's been a huge opportunity. So I think a year from now, we're going to be singing a very different tune. It wouldn't surprise me if ADA does get into that $7 to $15 range. And frankly, if things go the right way in the market, if we start to see BTC get close to this $200,000 projections like some people are talking about, don't be surprised by ADA really making up some significant ground and being one of the big surprises in this crypto market. So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Show your love below. Do you think this wild card is going to be a big deal? But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.